Hi, no live tweeting during the broadcast section, please, and use the microphone provided. Gary.
Thanks, Anthony. Hello.
Hey, Gary.
How are you?
Good.
There was some footage put out yesterday by the club of the first team squad training. Dominic Solanke didn't appear to be featuring. Is there an issue with him?
Yeah, no, Dom picked up a knock against in the last game, so he got through the game, but it kind of flared up the day after, and he'll miss tomorrow.
A blow, obviously, because he played well in parts, didn't in his debut.
Well, yeah.
And in terms of Rodrigo Bentancur, I guess concussion protocols mean he can't be involved.
Oh, absolutely not. No, irrespective of concussion protocols, we want to. I think any head injury, we've got to be. We're always going to be a little bit more conservative from my perspective. So, good thing is he's bounced back really well. He's sort of done all the tests, and he feels good. But we'll take our time with Rodrigo and make sure he's absolutely 100% before we put him out there again. And
the obvious football decision would be that means that Yves Bissouma would play. Is he reintegrated?
You're picking the team for me, Alan.
No, that's why I asked the questions and you answered them.
It sounded like it, though.
I'm trying to use my very poor football knowledge.
You're right. No, look, obviously Biss is available, but we've got some options there, and I guess the whole idea of trying to bulk up the squad this off-season was about these kind of scenarios, and unfortunately for Rodrigo again, because he had a good game, he also had a good game on Monday night, but Biss is available, but like I said, we've got some midfield options.
But just to clarify, he has built bridges, as you were referring to last week, and he is available for selection in your opinion?
He's available for selection. The bridge building continues though, mate.
Thank you.
Vishali.
Hi, Ange. Just looking back on the game against Leicester, obviously a really good performance in terms of possession, chances created, but of course just the point. What have you told your players since that match, and what would you like to see from them tomorrow?
Yeah, look, I think with all these things, there's the outcome, which was disappointing for us. As you said, it's a game we should have really won. But you can't take away from the fact that the performance was strong. And first game of the year, I thought there was some really positive aspects to our football. We controlled the game really well, created chances, minimised the opposition's threats. But we know in football that's not necessarily going to guarantee you an outcome. You still got to be. As I said, I thought we were a little bit wasteful in front of goal, and we should have put the game to bed. But for the most part, I thought it was positive, and for us, it's if we can replicate those kind of performances regularly, then the outcomes will change.
Sean Dyche has said that he's down to 14 recognised first-team players for tomorrow's game. So, what can you expect from Everton tomorrow?
Yeah, look, tough game. I think anyone who plays against Everton or a Sean Dyche team expects it not to be anything less than very, very competitive. And obviously they have got a few injuries, but the players they have out there are very good players, and can make things difficult for any opponent. So we've got to be ready for that. But it's our first home game, so I'm sure the lads are excited and sort of play in front of our crowd and getting the atmosphere going, and again, hopefully put on a good performance for it.
And finally for me, if he plays tomorrow, which we assume he will, Christian Romero will make his 100th appearance for Spurs. Can you just describe the sort of player he's been for you, what he means to you in terms of leadership, in terms of his qualities on the pitch?
Oh, outstanding. I mean, obviously, with all these kind of things, you have a sort of an image of a player from afar. And before I got here, I thought, he's going to be really important to me. He's such a fantastic centre back and for club and country. But being here now and watching him, the way he trains, the way he plays, unbelievably strong mindset, absolute winner in everything he does. He's been really important. He was important last year, and he will be really important moving forward, because he is one of the players that within this group that has achieved things from a team perspective. I've always said those kind of things are transferable. He's won a World Cup. They won the Copa America, so he's been part of a successful team, and I think he's a real strong influence in the group. And it's great he plays his 100th game tomorrow, and hopefully, I know he'll perform at the level he always does. He's very consistent, but hopefully we'll make it a special day for him.
Ian.
Hi, Ange, how are you?
I'm good, mate.
Always important start the season well, but especially your first home game. Is that how you see things? Because if you're going to have a good season, then like last year where you started well, make sure tomorrow's a good performance, a good result.
Yeah, it certainly helps, and you want to start off with a good performance. And like I said, the first game at home, and we had a good performance last week, but we've got to turn a good performance also into a victory. And we were really good at home early last year, and we really set sort of a real good standard in terms of the kind of football we played here. So looking forward to tomorrow. We want to get off to a good start at home.
Throughout last season, you were telling us, especially away from match days in training, it was about getting the team to get to know what you want from them, imprinting your philosophy, as it were. How close to, not the finished article are they, but how close to really understanding now when they go out on the pitch what you want them to do are they?
Well, look, we're definitely further down the track, and I think for the most part, the players, particularly the ones who were here from last year, have got a pretty good understanding. But that's but even that's constantly evolving. In terms of the way we want to play, depending on the sort of players we have, and how we're progressing as a team. It's nothing that's absolutely fixed in stone as to this is exactly how we're going to go about our football. But the basic principles, I think, are there. And that was the pleasing thing about last week. We want to dominate games. We want to create chances. We did that. We want to minimise the opposition's chances. We did that. So I think a lot of it is embedded in there, but it's a constantly evolving process.
So when you see your team dominate games and do what you want, but they don't necessarily get the outcome that you think they deserve or you want them to do and win the game, does that make you less angry? Does that make you think, well, hang on a minute, they're doing what I want them to do? So ultimately, down the track, we're going to get to our destination, if the journey today wasn't quite where I wanted to be.
Yeah, look, it's not about anger. It's not it's. I mean, obviously the game's an emotional game. So if you don't win, then obviously everyone gets disappointed with that, and varying ranges of emotion. My job is to kind of whatever emotions I have to park to one side and just really look at how we played, because that's. I've said 1,000 times, we could have won 1-0 last week, but if we didn't play well, I'd be certainly more concerned than sort of playing well and not winning the game. There's concerns on both aspects, but certainly more concerned, because that's harder to fix. A performance that's not us is a lot more difficult to navigate than us playing well and not getting the result.
Hi Ange, could I ask you about Wilson Odoi? Is he ready to make his debut tomorrow?
Yeah, he's available and he's trained, so he's available.
Excellent. And that was a bit of a signing that was kept under wraps. We didn't really know a lot about it, and then it sort of just happened. How did you sort of sign him? Why did you sign him, and what was the thinking behind it?
We went through the same sort of processes, and he was one we identified really early on. In the summer, as no secret, we were looking for a wide player, and Wilson was one of the ones we highlighted. And it was we had to kind of sort of just go through certain steps to get these things done. They're not as straightforward as just saying that's who we want, go and get them. Obviously, getting Big Dom in was really important for us, and we spent a lot of time working on that deal. And but once Dom was done, there was one target, and that was Wilson, and it happened really quickly. I really like his, the way he plays in the wide areas is different from our other wingers. He's a dribbler. He likes to get into the front third. He can play either side. He can play central. Had a really good sort of development in terms of you look at his trajectory, and from PSG as a youngster to Troyes, playing in Ligue 1 in France and Premier League football before the age of 19. I think he ticked all the boxes for us, and he's a fantastic young bloke as well. So really happy to get him in.
Do you expect an impact from him right away, or is it kind of one for the future more this season?
Look, I think with all the players we've signed, I think you've already seen, irrespective of age, we signed him because I think they can make an impact, and certainly I see that with Wilson. He's a year older than Archie and Lucas, and they've already made an impact. So we signed the players because we're still in that stage of building a team. And as I keep saying, I don't want to bring players here who I don't think can meaningfully contribute to what we're trying to do in the short term, and Wilson definitely will.
Hi, Ange. Can I just ask you about Dominic's injury, exactly kind of what it is, and also will he miss more than one game?
It's an ankle injury, mate. He copped a knock really early that somebody went across his ankle, so he's definitely out tomorrow, and then it just depends on the recovery. Obviously, next week then there's the international break, so, but it's not serious, we know that, yeah, just an ankle injury.
And just is Richarlison fit enough to start if you need him to?
Yeah, Richie's trained 2 weeks, and yeah, he's ready to go. Obviously, he hasn't played for quite a while, which you've always got to sort of guard against, but he's available and ready to go.
I just wanted to ask about Oliver Skipp, who's left the club. Obviously, previous managers maybe heralded him as a future Tottenham captain. He could have been. Why do you think it just didn't quite work out for him?
Well, I mean, just that's what happens in football sometimes. I wouldn't say it didn't work out, because it might have worked out. He might have, probably will have a fantastic career at Leicester. So it doesn't always, just because one door closes. I mean, there's very few players who just play at one club their whole career. But since I've been here, Skippy's been, excellent attitude, good footballer. Hasn't had the opportunities he probably wanted and deserved. And I think for every footballer, as I keep saying, they've got decisions to make in terms of their own career. And he was getting to an age where I think he felt like, he wanted to be playing more minutes. A fantastic person, an academy graduate, who ended up playing for his club for a number of seasons. I don't think that's not working out. I think it's, it's a credit to him. And like I said, I'm sure he's going to have a fantastic career from here on.
Hi, Ange. The club announced earlier that Ashley Phillips is going on loan to Stoke City for the season. Just wanted to ask a little bit about the rationale behind that and what you thought about his performances in pre-season.
Yeah, Ash. I think it's a really good loan for him. Going to Stoke. Obviously, I guess with the younger players, it's a balance between, well, if we keep them in the squad, are they going to play meaningful minutes? And with Ash, we didn't feel that was going to be the case. And he sort of played the back end of last year at sort of fairly regularly at Plymouth, and we feel like he needs to play more football. Centre backs, it's a bit of a trickier position. Sometimes players need more game time to develop and improve rather than just training, and we felt it was the best decision for him.
Can I just check on Pedropo, Ange, who appeared to come off?
Yeah, he's fine, mate. Yeah, he trained and bounced back okay.
And anyone else that you're expecting to be out?
No, everyone else. Everyone else is all good.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll finish this section with George, please.
Hi, Ange. Just going back to Ash Phillips, that leaves you with 4 recognised centre-backs. Are you kind of happy with that depth, or is that an area that you might try and do something over the next week or so?
No, look, I think obviously we've got Radu, who's going really well, training really well, and Ben can play centre-back as well. So Archie can fill at centre-back, so I think we're okay.
And just with Archie, I guess he's a candidate to play tomorrow instead of Bentancur. He's obviously very young into his career, but he showed incredible depth and versatility. Do you think long-term 6 is potentially where his position is going to be?
Who knows, mate? I mean, everywhere we've put him so far, he's looked really comfortable, and it's a credit to him that he's sort of adjusted to Premier League football. I mean, that was him and Lucas's first Premier League game last week, and they came on and made an impact, which is fantastic for us when you think about 2 18-year-olds who are already making an impact. We'll see with Archie. Like I said, he's obviously a very smart young man in terms of receiving information. So whatever position we put him, we kind of try and guide him through that, and he takes that on board really well. And it's going to be an asset for us. I mean, look, we're one game into a 50-plus game season, so I'm sure he's going to play a lot, and he might play a number of positions. And where he ends up, mate, I think he'll be the master of his own destiny in terms of that.
And just finally, with the transfer window shutting in a week, how kind of active do you expect the next week to be? Is outgoings a big area that you sort of want to push to get a few more out?
Yeah, look, we're still, probably a couple more who probably will go out, but we've done a fair bit of work, in the last 12 months in terms of the squad. As much as the focus has been on getting guys in, we've changed the squad a fair bit. We've brought down the demographic a fair way. I think we've brought in footballers who are more sort of suited to playing the football we want to play and moving forward. So there's been a lot of work done in that area from our perspective. But with a week ago, there's still a little bit to do.
Okay, we'll end the broadcast section there and move on to the embargoed section for 10:30 p.m. tonight. Tom?